Hello friends, I am Ashish. I welcome all of you into this chapter. Now we'll talk about vPC formation with the 5G and 2K devices. And this is the topology I have. 2K means FEX. Okay. The first two devices, these are 5K, means this is 5K, this is 5K as well, and these two are FEX devices. Okay. It is a port number 1/17, 1/18 goes to 17 and 18. These dotted lines, it would mean that we will be forming vPC using MGMT0 interfaces, management 0. Similarly here, I've given the IP here as 11.1.1.1/24. Here it's 2. Okay, it's port number 1/7, 1/8, 1/9, 1/10. This is the first topology of this FEX vPC. Okay, so I will be naming it as 100, FEX 100. So if this port will be 1/1 of that, means 100/1/1, it will be 100/1/2. It will be similarly 101. Okay, so we don't have number on these. Okay, we don't have number on these. So we will form vPC between these two. Means once the FEX is configured, we will configure vPC1, and on these port we will be configuring LSCP. Okay, and you need to know one thing, that LSCP can be configured from the FEX port to the server. Okay, downstream to server, but it cannot be configured when we connect FEX. Like if I have to move these two into PO1, okay, I'll call it as a PO. I'll make it PO2. Here as well I'll make it PO2. Then I will not be able to use LSCP. Okay, in this case LSCP is not possible. So let's get started. Let me take you to first device. This is the first thing is that we enable feature of FEX, though it is already enabled by me. Let me also show you feature space FEX. Okay, and similarly here I'll have to go to this. You can do show FEX feature FEX. It is now enabled. Okay, show FEX. So you can see that we have two ports discovered here. Show FEX. Let me drag it a bit so that it is easy for you to understand the output. These are the serial number of two FEX devices. So we will be actually right now I will be using only one FEX per device. Okay, it is showing because we also have interlink cables. That topology we will discuss next time, but let's concentrate on the first one. So first of all, we have to give a number. I'll make it FEX 100. Okay, FEX number has been given, and you can see in this topology that we have port number 7 and 8. Okay, so either I can use static pinning or port channel. I'm going to use port channel here. Okay, but before that I have to define what is pinning length. Pinning, I'll make it max length as 1 because I'm going to have only port channel. Okay, you can see this message whenever we change this output, there would be traffic disruption. Alright, let's move those two ports 1/7 8 to port channel, and remember we cannot use LSCP here, it will not work. So switch port, I'll make it channel group. Actually we have to make it a FEX port, fabric port. Switch port mode FEX fabric. Okay, now I'll configure channel group. What was the number I'm going to use? PO2. Hit enter. Now let's go to PO2 and we'll make it switch port mode FEX fabric. Okay, now I need to associate that FEX associate. What is the number? 100. In 30-40 seconds you would see the output. You can see that it is discovered, it is connected. So I'll be using this one only. Okay, you can see that FEX 100. Similarly on this one, I'll make it as FEX 101. Show FEX pinning. Max length is 1. Here the port number is 1/9 and 9 and 10. No shut. Switch port mode FEX fabric. Okay, now channel group 2. Hit enter. Go to PO2. Switch port mode FEX fabric. Okay, and it is done. Now we need to associate with FEX associate 101. Hit enter and do show FEX. The first one is showing connected. Let's wait. Okay, 101 is coming. So it will take around 10 actually 1 or 2 minutes. Then you will get some messages and this FEX will be live. You can do show FEX detail. You can see 7 and 8, they are in up status. Okay, and once you do show interface status, you should see port number with 100/1/1. Right now it is not there because FEX is not yet operational. Show FEX 100. Okay, here it is. The good thing, the FEX is coming up. It is saying online. Now you do show interface status. Go down. See 100/1/1 till 48. Okay, so FEX is up on this. Similarly on this one, because we have configured it little later, so we can expect some delay. You can see the port status 9/10 1/9 and 1/10, both are in up status. Good news, it is also up now. You can do show interface status. You would see some interfaces with 101 output. Here it is. So ports are ready, FEX is configured. Now these FEX devices can be managed from their parent switches. So we'll log in into first switch. We'll configure vPC. Okay, because this FEX has become part of this 5K now, so we can use LACP. Okay, so let me take you to this, and first feature I would gonna enable is feature vPC feature LACP. That's it. And similarly on this one, config T feature vPC. These are 5K devices. Feature LACP. That's it. So first thing is show vPC. We haven't configured domain yet. Let's configure vPC domain 1 here as well. vPC domain 1. Now let's configure peer keep alive. I'm going to use management 0 interfaces, and I've told you that these are the IPs 11.1.1.1/24 and 2. So let's mention peer keep alive destination. I'm on the first one, so I'm going to mention the destination IP of the other one. I can also mention source, but since I'm using the management 0, so I do not need to mention it because they are by default in management and they are internally, means at the hardware level, at the data plane level, I would say they are connected, so I do not need to mention it. It'll work. Else you can mention the source IP if you want it. Okay, VRF is management. Similarly here, peer keep alive destination 11 dot source VRF management. Okay, you do show vpc peer keep alive. It is up now, success is there. Let me stretch it a bit. Peer is alive. Obviously here as well, show vpc peer keep alive. Okay, second thing is vpc peer link. Here I'm going to configure these two into vpc peer link. Okay, I'll use po1 here. Port channel is must here. I'll not take much of your time, so configure t ethernet 1/7 and 8, 17 and 18 actually, sorry. Okay, no shut, switch port mode trunk. I'm gonna configure trunk mode. Channel group 1 mode LACP. Oh, sorry, active, not LACP. It is configured. Interface po1 no shut, and switch port, let's wait for it to finish it off. Switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk allowed VLAN all. Okay, so this is allowed. Now vpc peer link, this one as well. You can also check the status of these two interfaces. Interface 17 18 no shut, switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk allowed VLAN all, channel group 1 mode active. Actually there was no need to mention it, this allowed VLAN on these two interfaces, because ultimately we need to use port channel 1. Here we can mention it, no shut, switch port mode trunk. By default all VLANs are allowed. If you do not allowed VLAN all. Okay, and vpc peer link. So you would see that vpc peer link is up. It is saying down, let's wait for it to come up. It is up. Wow. Peer adjacency is formed. Okay, peer is live, all success. So vpc peer link is formed. Now we will configure this FEX on, means this vpc on FEX interfaces. So these interfaces, this let's use port channel 3 here. Okay, 100/1/1 and 100/1/2. Okay, interface ethernet 100/1/1 and 2. Okay, no shut. What is the next step? Let's make it switch port mode trunk, channel group 3. Here we can use LACP mode active. Okay, and let me configure it in this side as well, then we'll go there. Here I would have to use interface 101/1-2. What is the problem here? Okay, 1/1. Okay, no shut, switch port mode trunk, channel group 3 mode active. Obviously we have to enable the LSCP on the server as well. Show vPC. Actually we haven't assigned any vPC yet, only the peer link is up. So let's go to that PO3 interface. PO3 switch port no shut, switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk allowed VLAN all, VPC 1. Similarly here, interface PO3 no shut, switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk allowed VLAN all. Okay, and VPC space 1. Show VPC. Okay, it is saying down, not applicable. See, it is successful. Actually, here I have a server, okay, and I have configured teaming into it, and I have also enabled the LACP. Okay, here. Where is my cursor? It is gone. Okay, here it is. Sorry. Okay, this is the one. These four. I have bundled these into a teaming. Okay, team 1, and then enable the LACP. So that's the reason that I'm seeing status is up. Similarly on this one, show VPC. See, PO3 VPC number 1. Let me extend it a bit. Okay, so our VPC is done. We have configured VPC on the FEX interfaces. Show VPC 1. And if you go to channel group, show port channel, show port channel summary. This was the member port 101/1/1, 101/1/2. Okay, so this is the way to configure. Actually, it was same like what we did in the past. It is just like I wanted to show you that in FEX we can also do it. The only difference that we notice is that when we configure a port channel to form actually to connect FEX, there we cannot use LACP because it doesn't use it. Okay, so once FEX is a part of your chassis, or it's logically your part, after that to connect servers downstream, then you would be able to use it. There is no problem in that. Means LACP can be used in that. That's what I wanted to show that to you. And you can go into that detail, show VPC 1. Show interface E101/1/1 space 2. You can say they are trunk and connected well. Okay, so friends, this is the way to configure. You just have to have knowledge of teaming in case you want to configure it yourself, but generally the team that manages this VM will help you in configuring teaming. You don't need to worry. So I hope that it's been informative to you, and I would like to thank you for viewing. Have a nice day.